Hi everybody, today we're briefly going to go over our research paper for Management 115, our org behavior class. So what you're going to do is you are going to select one of these topics, only one. I know you probably want to write papers on all of them, but limit yourself to just one. The first option you have is creating corporate culture among a remote workforce. We're in a remote classroom, right? We're geographically dispersed. Most of us have never met. So what do you do for your corporate culture when your workers have not even met each other? Okay, so that's a really huge topic in today's workplace. Employee motivation and retention as it pertains to millennials, the millennial generation. So if you're going to do this one, you better be able to define what millennial is, look it up, do your research, and see what are the challenges facing today's managers, business owners, and the leadership in all business as it pertains to motivating and retaining millennials. Your next option is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Okay, so you can research how Maslow's theory applies to today's workforce. Research and discuss other theories of employee motivation and compare and contrast them to Maslow's theory. In relation, make sure this is always to today's current workforce, okay? And your last option is Hunt for Red October. Watch the movie Hunt for Red October. It's an old movie and you can get it at a public library. However, you may have to go in and request it. It might take a week to get there. So if you're going to do this one, make sure you go and get it as soon as possible. It's because it's old, you can get it for really, really inexpensive. You may even find it online. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to write a paper that uses the movie to demonstrate at least 15 theories from your textbook. Explain how the theory is demonstrated in the workplace in the movie, because remember, in this movie, it's displaying a workplace for you. And while it's really dramatic, you get to see how these workers work together and in a crisis situation. Under no circumstances are you to tell me the story of Hunt for Red October. If you want to get an F on your paper, start it out by saying, Hunt for Red October is an exciting film. And this is what happens. Listen, I've taught from this movie for decades. I know the plot. Do not start out your Hunt for Red October paper telling me a story. What you want to say is, in the film Hunt for Red October, many organizational behavior theories are demonstrated. This paper will discuss the following theories, and then you list out everything you're going to talk about, and then move on and tell me the theory and tell me how it's demonstrated. Now, you are going to have to tell me, maybe use the name of a character. You may have to vaguely describe a scene to kind of set it up and say, in the scene where they discovered the guilty party, I don't want to, give you any spoiler alerts in case you haven't seen it. This motivational theory or this whatever theory it is you're going to discuss about why this person took this action. So you may have to use a little bit of, tell me a little bit of in which scene, but whatever you do, this is not story time, okay? You're going to analyze the film based on organizational behavior theories, okay? And I gave you some examples, like what type of power is being illustrated, morale, self-esteem, attitude, culture, job satisfaction, group behaviors. I mean, there are so many theories from your textbook that are shown in that movie that you will be able to write this paper so easily. Now, honestly, this is one of my favorite. It's actually my favorite one. And if I could, I would require you all to do it. But I know some of you wouldn't be able to get the movie, so I give you a lot of different options. But I'm telling you, the Hunt for Red October one is actually, it's pretty fun. So you're going to submit a paper that is 3 to 5 pages in length. If you do not write at least 3 pages, you're going to be marked down significantly. And none of this junk where you leave, 2/3 of the third page empty and call that page 3. No, it has to be completely full, okay? Do not exceed 6 pages. Okay, sometimes people do that. Don't do that. 12-point Times New Roman. Please note that the defaults in Microsoft Word are no longer 12-point Times New Roman. Change your font. Okay, if you don't know how to do that, come to campus. Go to the Learning Center. Come by during my office hours. It'll take me 2 seconds to show you how to do it. Must be double spaced. And just go ahead and use the default margins. Those are fine. Don't put any graphics in. Okay, and it says black ink and white paper. You guys are turning it online, so come on, just use black font. That's all we need. A bibliography is required following the MLA format. You must cite at least 5 sources for all topics except Hunt for Red October. In Hunt for Red October, you're just using the film and your textbook, and that's fine. You can just use those 2 sources. But for everything else, you have to have a minimum of 5 sources. And to write those other papers, you're going to need more than 5 sources. You're going to need to do quite a bit of research, okay? It's college level, okay? You're expected to write a paper at a college level. Now, again, we've got a writing center within our learning center. So if you struggle with writing papers at all, you don't know how to get started, you're concerned about your grammar, go to the learning center and go to the writing center inside of there, and there are people there that will help you, okay? Just don't wait till the last minute. Spell check your paper. It is amazing how many people submit papers to me with a nice red wavy line under a word. You know, it does make my grading easier when you do that because that red line attracts me really quickly. Spell check it. Have someone else review your paper before you turn it in, because what happens is you know what you meant, but you leave out some words, but when you read it, because you know what you meant, your brain fills in and it puts the words in there. So you need a third party to read it to make sure you don't have any missing words. If you foolishly copy from the internet, you will be receiving a 0. This is worth a significant portion of your grade, and it's a terrible thing because then I have to turn you into the college. There's a lot of paperwork involved, and I'd really appreciate it if you just didn't give me that trouble or yourself that trouble, okay? So, college level paper, very important, no storytelling, okay? If you need help, you can always email me and ask me questions. You can always go into the Learning Center and go to the Writing Center and the Learning Center and get help. But if you need to use the Writing Center, this is the time of the semester when everybody is assigning papers. So make sure that you get over there, early enough to get your work in on time. Okay, check your course schedule to see when you have this submitted, and let me know if you have any problems.